All right, for someone who's never heard of Melhorn Manor before, give us a 2-minute version. What makes this venue special?
Sure. Well, we are a family-owned venue, and I know a lot of places do advertise that, and they might be family-owned, but we are family-operated as well. So my wife Jess and I, we meet all of the new couples. We show them around our venue. All the planning meetings are with Jess and I ourselves. And the actual wedding days, Jess and I are the lead coordinators for those days too. So from start to finish, when a couple, books their wedding here with us, they're working directly with us. So it's kind of a unique experience with that. Now, obviously, we do have some employees that are assistant coordinators to help us out. But each couple is always working directly with Jess and I.
That's perfect. So if a newly engaged couple were to drive down the lane right now, what would you hope they feel before they even get out of their car?
I hope that they kind of get a sense of home almost, not a big kind of quote unquote like corporate place. It feels more like a home type of feel to them. They're very welcomed. Not like a stranger walking onto a new property.
Beautiful. And you toured hundreds of couples through this property. What's the moment when people usually look at each other and say, yep, this might be it?
Honestly, when they walk into our grand reception hall, the chandeliers and the lighting that comes in there, we get couples all the time that their mouths open, and it's just kind of like an awestruck type of feeling. Even the suites that we have for the couples to get ready in, the man cave and the bridal suite, the guys always get pretty excited about this room, and the girls about the bridal suite. So there's a couple different elements, but I would definitely say the grand reception hall is a big one.
And if you had to talk about a specific kind of couple, what kind or type of couple tends to fall in love with the manor?
We get all types of couples. Now, I guess I can answer it maybe this way. Our wedding packages, if you're looking for a Saturday in May, June, September, or October, for a Saturday, you're looking around $10,000 for the wedding package. So we do get a little bit more of the elevated, type of couple looking for that type of venue. But we've hosted, every kind of a couple wedding here. I hope I'm answering that question. I guess that's the best way I can answer it.
In your experience, what are some things couples don't realize they should be asking when they are venue shopping?
Oh, that's a big one. I would definitely say hidden fees is a big one. A lot of couples will see the starting price of a venue or a package, but they won't realize that taxes aren't included in that, service fees, gratuities. If a venue has decor, they might not realize that that's an additional charge to use it, or yard games, fire pits, tables, chairs, all of those things. I even had a couple one time ask me on a tour if it was an additional cost to turn the heat on. So I would just say, make sure when you're on a venue tour that you really ask, with that price you see, what all is included in that.
Excellent. What's something that's included here that surprises couples the most?
Honestly, Stephen, everything. We are one of the few venues in this area that don't have like an a la carte list. So we include full and partial wedding coordination with our packages, all of our tables and chairs, both the suites to get ready in, fire pit, yard games, all the different venue spaces for ceremonies and photos and cocktail hours, receptions. Everything we have here at the venue is already included in every one of our packages.
That's gorgeous. What are the biggest wedding day stressors you help eliminate for your couples?
Just logistics, really. The small details as well, setting up decor, helping the timeline stay on track, helping guests get from one area of the venue to the next. So on a wedding day itself, I would say those are definitely the biggest stressors we help with.
Speaking of stressors, as much as we would love the weather to always be perfect, what happens here if it rains?
So it's actually really easy. So with having our tobacco barn and our courtyard outside, so let's say a couple is planning to get married in our courtyard, which is our outdoor option. Our tobacco barn is the plan B. So every couple here that has a plan A as outside has the plan B as the tobacco barn. And at our final details meeting, Jess will go over in detail what the plan A is going to be and what the plan B is going to be. So that way on the wedding day, when the couple arrives in the morning, if the weather isn't quite what they were hoping for, we can just switch it right to the tobacco barn, and it's a really seamless transition.
That's perfect. A lot of people are getting married for the first time, and since they're inexperienced in this area, it's easy to believe a lot of things that could be read on the internet.
Yeah.
What's one wedding myth you wish couples would stop believing?
Oh, that's a good one too. I think Pinterest and Instagram can paint a picture for couples that's hard for them to grasp what the budget entails. So they see all these wonderful pictures on Instagram and Pinterest and even TikToks, and they want to try and duplicate, what they see in some of those highlighted photos. And it sometimes it might not be realistic to what their budget is. So I kind of wish that'd be one thing that, and maybe I'm kind of far-fetched in saying this, but, maybe when posting some of those things, give couples a realistic idea of what that might look like for themselves.
Absolutely. Pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what do you feel separates a good wedding venue from a great wedding venue?
Oh, I've always said this. It's who you work with is what makes a difference. I've said this many, many times. All wedding venues are beautiful. I mean, that's to be a wedding venue. I think that's the number one checkbox that you have to make, is that it has to be a beautiful property. So just because the place is beautiful, that isn't really what sets it apart. What sets it apart is who you're working with the planning process and on the wedding day itself. Because even if a place is beautiful, if you have a poor experience, that's just going to ruin everything else. So who you work with is really what makes a difference.
Absolutely. When couples come to tour, they have a billion questions buzzing through their head. They're trying to take in everything. What's something that they might not notice on the tour, but absolutely appreciate when it comes to their wedding day?
Because I've been told by hundreds of couples that my tours are so thorough. I try not to be like the guy behind the curtain hiding things. So I always try and show couples absolutely everything and go over all the fine details with them so that they know. And maybe that's the answer, just transparency. I feel like that's something that can be taken for granted a lot, not only in the wedding industry, but everywhere. When you meet someone for the first time, they might be holding some things back that you might not realize until later. So I guess that's my best answer, would just be the transparency that we have here.
Yeah. Transparency and anticipation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, this property has been in your family for over 100 years.
A little over. What
does that responsibility feel like?
Without sounding cliche, I guess just to be a good steward of it. It's kind of funny when before this was a wedding venue, and one of my parents owned it, and my dad passed away in 2013. My mom had actually offered this property to me first. And back in 2014, I wasn't really interested in the property and actually told her to go ahead and sell it. And it wasn't until two years went by and my life had changed a little bit. And she had found a potential buyer for the property. He was an investor, and he wanted to use the property for offices. And that kind of flipped a switch in my mind. I really didn't want to see these old buildings, especially the house, the old farmhouse that dates back to 1750. I didn't want to see something like that destroyed. And that's when, my wife and I were very seriously dating and talking about marriage, decided that, we really ought to save that property from, what could happen to it. And now that we did it, I think that sense of maturity kind of set in that I'm glad I did. I'm glad it just stayed in the family. I'm glad I can preserve it for, my future generations if they want it, or just for other people to enjoy.
Is there a particular part of the property that means something very special to you personally?
I don't know if I'd say there's, one particular spot of the property. Growing up, my parents, they're in the trucking business right across the street here at Melhorn Trucking. So there's a lot of days, evenings when my parents would be over there working, and I'd be around here, riding my four-wheelers or, whatever, kind of just being a farm kid, if you would. So it's just kind of cool, I guess, seeing the property transform over those years, and getting to enjoy the whole thing. So I hope it's not, again, too cliche to say, but the whole thing, the whole property just holds a lot of sentimental value.
Absolutely. Why do you feel that weddings still matter in today's world where people can just sign paperwork at a courthouse?
I think it's all the special moments. We even get couples, who do the courthouse weddings, and then they reach out to us later saying, hey, we did an elopement or we did the courthouse, and we kind of regretted not sharing that moment with all of our family and friends, and then they want to redo everything. So I guess, just sharing those moments with all your loved ones and having them present to be there with you, I think is what holds that special place.
That's perfect. Say 5 years from now, what do you hope couples remember most about getting married here at Melhorn Manor?
Just their overall experience. A lot goes into planning, both, investing finances and time into it. And I sincerely hope that when they look back on their wedding day, they just remember all of their hard work and planning coming together the way they envisioned it, and they got to enjoy it all. They weren't bombarded with a lot of stress and game day decisions. Those are all things that Jess and I try and alleviate from all of our couples, so they can enjoy that experience and just, again, be present in their wedding day and with all their loved ones and friends.
I love that. Rapid fire questions. Gut instinct.
Okay.
Indoor or outdoor ceremony?
Outdoor.
First look or aisle review?
First look.
Band or DJ?
DJ.
Sunrise photos or sunset photos?
Sunset.
Big or intimate weddings?
Intimate.
Most underrated wedding trend right now?
Oh, I know you said gut feeling on that one. That kind of caught me off guard.
I'm trying to bring the Pittsburgh cookie tables to this area.
Oh, well, we've seen a lot of those.
Yes.
I guess one trend that I like to see is couples are kind of using a late night snack as kind of like their personality. Like a couple months ago, we had a couple DoorDash. I think it was like 100 double cheeseburgers and 100 McChickens for their people to enjoy just because they love McDonald's. So, I think that's a trend that I really like to see, that couples kind of incorporate those little things about their life and personality into their wedding day.
That's amazing. What is your favorite spot on the property for portraits?
Boy, this might be a tie. Our waterfall out back is definitely one of my favorites. I also love to see portraits on our front side yard by the stone house too. I think those are my favorite spots.
Perfect. Thank you again to the Melhorns for welcoming me onto the property and letting me capture Melhorn Manor. Getting to hear the story behind this place, walking the grounds, and seeing how much care goes into the wedding experience was honestly such a privilege. If you're newly engaged and still looking for the right Pennsylvania wedding venue, definitely add Melhorn Manor to your list. And if you're planning a wedding at Melhorn Manor or anywhere in Central PA and you want a photographer who helps you feel comfortable, prepared, and taken care of, I'd love to talk with you. Head to my website, send me a DM, send me an inquiry, call me, beat me, text me if you really want to reach me. Tell me what you're planning. Happy to help.